What's that song?
Mike's Daily Podcast.
Episode 1035. Hello, it's Mike Matthews broadcasting from Cafe Anyway, located somewhere in Podcastro Valley, Mont, at the last place on earth. Today it's Benita, the Disgruntled Fiddle Player, the Brewmaster, plus it's the debut of a brand new segment called Aint-Life-Grand, and possibly Kevin might stop by.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
Cafe Anyway, where we broadcast live from, and where we don't video any of this.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
Because we don't want to hurt your eyes. Here's my song about the term ghosting. What the hell is that? You're probably asking. It's actually a very, very common thing when you leave a party without even saying goodbye. It also pertains to slow fading a relationship.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
You know, when you stop calling someone and abandon ship.
Mike's
No texts.
Daily
No Facebook likes.
Podcast.
No contact at all.
Yeah!
Oops, they're at the same Starbucks as me. Run! Ain't life fun? I was hearing about that on the podcast, stuff your mom never told you. They were talking about ghosting. And I'm like, oh yeah. Actually, it's weird. For me, I never ever do that at parties. I'm always like the last one to leave a party. Maybe to the chagrin of the party hosts. But I am with relationships kind of bad with that. Well, not all the time. Actually, only once, and that was in recent memory, and that was because it was someone I met on OkCupid, and they were a freak. They was a freak, is what they was. So I'm glad and it was like the only way to ditch it was just to stop contacting them, because every time I talked to them, it negative spiraled into bad, horrible things that could not be conversated out of. But whatever, it's probably bad to do ghosting. It's probably you shouldn't leave people hanging, and it causes a lack of closure, which is something psychologically we all need. On another note, pods, not podcasts, but those little pods like Keurigs and Nespresso and that sort of thing are becoming more and more popular. Oh my gosh, look who just walked in. Hi, Mark, it's Benita the Rodeo Queen. How you doing?
It's a disgruntled fiddle player, tell you what.
What?
I don't know what that ghosting thing was. At first I was getting scared, like you was talking about being haunted by ghosts. I'm afraid of those. In the moonlight, walking out around my ranch, and I see a ghost pop up, and it scared me. I tried calling the Ghostbusters like that song said. Couldn't find the number because I didn't know who to call. Is anyone listening to me? Is this thing on? Check.
No, we ain't listening to y'all. Hey, Mike, I love ghosts, especially when they give me a hug. You can't hug a ghost. They go right through you. I know, that's cool. Oh, well, as part of a guide to green procurement, look who just walked in.
Hi, Mike. It's the Brewmaster. I make dirt beautiful.
Brewmaster, do you have any contact with ghosts or anything?
No.
How about ghosting? You ever leave someone hanging? Just like you just leave without saying goodbye? Oh, there he goes. Alrighty. Yeah, so what in Hamburg, a German city that I have been to, such a scary place. No, it's a wonderful place. In fact, Anne-Katrine, the voice you hear at the beginning, the girl's voice going, Mike's Daily Podcast, she lives in Hamburg. It gave me a tour of Hamburg. It was awesome because she's my cousin. So Hamburg last month introduced a ban on buying certain polluting products or product components with council money. Yes, so you cannot buy equipment for hot drinks in which portion packaging is used. They specifically singled out the Kaffee Capsule Machine, or coffee capsule machine. Hey, Germans like English. which accounts for 1 in 8 coffees sold in Germany. It said in the report, these portion packs cause unnecessary resource consumption and waste generation, and often contain polluting aluminium, if you were in England, is how you would say it. These capsules can't be recycled easily because they are often made of a mixture of plastic and aluminum. Well, now it's interesting, Nespresso is giving out these bags that already have a return postage on them. And they will just give you a bunch of those bags. And so when you're done, when you can fill up the bag with your capsules, you just mail it off to them and they take care of it. I don't know what they do with it. They maybe just put it in a landfill and kill innocent baby sea lions in the process. But I think it's pretty cool what they do with it. What I do with my Nespresso, because I only have Nespresso capsules. At work, we have the Keurig capsules, and they just chuck those. They just throw them in the trash. We don't even recycle. It's pretty bad. I'm not, and we're in the Bay Area, too, which makes no sense why you're not. Anyway, what I do with my Nespresso capsules at home is I take a flathead screwdriver and I cut open to the top of them, and then I scrape out all the grounds into a large canister. And when I filled up that canister, I go outside and I dump it on the soil around my Meyer lemon tree, which I've named Sandy, because it looks like something that washed up on a beach. I love that joke. No, that makes no sense. A Meyer lemon? When would a Meyer lemon be washed up on a beach, except for maybe after a hurricane? I don't know. Sandy seemed like a good name for my Meyer lemon tree, which has not produced any lemons in a couple of years. But I'm patient. I know someday there'll be awesome lemons popping out of that thing. So now let's start a segment. By the way, all the podcast pictures and blogs and past podcasts and where you can listen to the show and how you can help out the show all can be found at MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST.com. In fact, one of the things you can do is if you're going to buy anything on Amazon, go through the link at MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST.com. And it doesn't change the way you shop, and it helps us out, makes us happy. And there's also the past interviews. I've done some interesting interviews with up-and-coming indie bands, some that have gotten popular, including Saint Motel. I've talked to a lot of country acts back in my days when I was a country DJ on the radio in Ventura County, California. I interviewed a lot of up-and-coming country stars that became famous. You can hear all those in the cassette cubby. I'm wearing a t-shirt, by the way, of a cassette, so I can educate all the 20-somethings like Haley. Oh, speaking of Haley, we should do the Haley Moment of the Week.
The Haley Moment of the Week.
I don't really have anything interesting to say today, so you're just going to have to carry the weight of the show. Go ahead.
All right, so I can't carry you. I'm not that strong.
I'm not heavy. I'm your brother.
I am my brother. So on we go. His welfare is my concern. Nobody needs he. Too bad we'll get there.
All right, that was a great moment. Now, oh, by the way, yeah, all that stuff is at MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST.com. If you want to email me, I'm at MIKES-DAILY-PODCAST@gmail.com. And we post your comments. We read your comments on the section Emails from Email and your Comment Not So Comments, which you can comment, of course, on the Facebook and the Twitter. Find all that at MIKES-DAILY-PODCAST.com. And now the segment Aint-Life-Grand.
Aint-Life-Grand.
Yes, it's a brand new segment. Hello, brand new segment. So good to have you here. A little late on talking about this particular topic since the big day for it was almost a week ago. But love. In particular, in particular, that moment when you first meet someone and you go gaga over them and all you can do is think about the person. And when you go out with that person, let's say you finally go out with this person you have a crush on, the whole thing about your brain not being able to put words together, and yet you're excited, you're wondering where this is going to be going. Ain't life grand about that? Now, according to BostonMagazine.com, what's going on with the love-addled brain of yours is interesting in that love isn't that different from how you feel about your mother. How's that for Oedipal? Many of the brain's regions that are activated by romantic love overlap with those linked to affiliative love, like that between a mother and child. Romantic love just has added hormones and cognitive responses. What? There are bonding hormones such as oxytocin, and then areas of the brain that are active when there's that loving, warm connection with another person. If it's romantic love, then there's also activation of sexual feelings and other hormonal responses that are responsible for some of the really powerful attraction and physical feelings that people have. And it may actually make you act like an idiot. Oh, but isn't that fun to be acting like an idiot? You should embrace the acting like an idiot part because, you know, most of your life you try and be controlled, right? You control the crap out of everything. Like, oh, I got to get up at this time. I got to be in my car by that time. I got to get to work by this time. And you control so much stuff. I got to pay this bill, that bill. I got to feed that baby, that dog. When in love, there's way more activity in the emotional centers of a person's brain than in the prefrontal cortex, which is the most, it's the more reasoning and executive functions and planning and prioritizing part of our brain. That may be why people might prioritize things in ways that don't make complete sense to other people when they're in love. If your newly attached friends are driving you crazy, a frank conversation about their priorities may set them straight. Just don't try it with teenagers. Sometimes it's harder to get a more reasoned response if you're talking to someone younger, where some of their cortical tracts are still developing. Anyway, Cafe Anyway, love and like. So I'm talking about in the relationship, the very beginning part, where you are acting like an idiot, and you can't think of things, you can't pronounce words like prioritize and other words that I just messed up here. Anyway, that's like an Ain't It Grand. As we go outside of Cafe Anyway, we're bringing Mike's Daily Podcast somewhere in Podcaster Valley.
And here's today's podcast picture.
The podcast picture is of the amazing blossoms that I see all around me outside of Cafe Anyway right now in Podcaster Valley, Mont. It's going crazy right now because all of a sudden we've got a bunch of sun, although we had a bunch of rain. Actually, we may not have blossoms anymore because it just downpoured a couple nights ago and may have knocked all the blossoms off. It makes me recall, I need to find that photo. That's a recent photo there, the podcast picture of the blossoms out. But when I lived in Huntsville, Alabama, I remember it was spring of 2009, and the blossoms were out, and the wind was blowing a little bit, and the blossoms were blowing off, and creating, it looked like snow. The wisps of blossoms spinning around, turning in and on top of each other. It was a beautiful day, and this was in the park there, Big Spring Park. I recently posted a picture of Big Spring Park in Huntsville, Alabama. So nice! And that's how it was. And I don't think we're going to have an addendum with Kevin today. I don't see any Kevin anywhere here at Cafe Anyway. I'm sort of sad. But that's all right. We'll just have to mention one last thing before we wrap up the show, and that is this wondrous thing in technology. Apparently, they have drawn the plans. They aren't actually going to build it, as far as I know, yet. But in London, the trains are so crowded and nobody can go anywhere. The trains just basically move at a crawl. So these planners have come up with this idea of, you know how in the airport those treadmill thingies that you get on and you can, it makes you move a little bit faster, the people movers, I guess they call them. Basically, you're standing on a mat that's moving along. Those things. And the people that are on those usually don't move, and you're trying to get around them because you're like, hey, if I run down this thing, I could be going 30 miles an hour, but this stupid idiot in front of me is stopped. And that's apparently what they're building in London, or what they are planning on. They've written up the plans anyway. They're going to have 3 separate treadmills. One that moves like, I think the slowest one is 3 miles per hour. The fastest one is 15 miles per hour. And basically at 15 miles per hour, if you're walking, you'll actually be going faster than the trains do in London. Isn't that exciting, Benita?
Yeah, that's great. And I love ghosts.
Mark, I think ghosts are scary. Wait. Is there a ghost here?
Probably.
No. Keep him away from me. I don't like this sort of thing. Okay.
How about the ghost of Antonin Scalia? Would you be happy with him?
Oh, yeah, he great. I'd hang out with him all day. Ghost of Antonin Scalia, that'd be awesome.
Well, today is the big funeral for him. Or they're showing anyway. The body laying in state or something. That's more creepy than actually seeing a ghost. It's like, I don't want to see them dead. I don't want to see them, I guess it's the way of everybody paying respects to him that were big fans of Antonin Scalia. But it's, big. It's an honor to the family that someone is going to be there on the Lincoln altar thing or something that was what Lincoln was on. He's getting the big send-off. Big historic Washington, D.C. send-off. And then the big controversy about Obama not going to the funeral. But he's going to this thing today. Whatever. This is probably gonna haunt him more than anything else. Haunt him, ghosts. There's a theme running here.
Mark, can I hug Antonin Scalia's ghost?
Sure, he's right over there.
Yay!
All right, next show it's going to be Shelley Shuhart, Floyd the Floorman, and John Deere the Engineer. Plus the interesting news segment called Matthew's News.
Addenda with Kevin.
Oh my gosh, all of a sudden there's Kevin.
Hey.
And the piano player guy is out here too.
Oh, yeah, again? Every time we come here, this guy shows up.
Well, we're outside and the piano player is there, and you're here, and Lana went and got us breakfast.
Yes, because she's a wonderful peach.
What a wonderful peach to bring us breakfast.
She is.
On a Friday morning.
Well, our usual guy didn't show up.
Yeah. We demand our breakfast thing.
He had to go bring his wife somewhere.
Ridiculous. Ugh. So on today's show, I was talking about how when you like someone you first meet, you know, and you're all attracted to them, and you do stupid stuff around them.
Yeah.
And you have no control over your brain processes.
You're not being yourself, and you're being what you hope they want you to be.
Yeah. And that's not good.
And no, it's not. Chris Rock always says, when you meet someone for the first time, you're not meeting them, you're meeting their representative.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's not good. I guess later on you do, but yeah.
It's not, I mean, it kind of depends, I guess. But I mean, when you shed that representative, it feels a lot better.
Right.
Yeah.
When you can be yourself.
Yeah. I know, like, whenever at my other job, this piano player guy is still going.
He's playing a song to match your thoughts.
Let's move the table away. I didn't feel comfortable there for 6 months because I wanted everyone to like me. So I was trying to be someone and fit in with the clique. And I just stopped giving a damn entirely. I'm like, hey, now I'm meeting people and I'm being friendly and social.
Yeah.
Because I stopped caring. Isn't that weird how that works?
We just gotta stop caring.
Yeah. The message is stop giving a damn. Whoever you are. Hopefully if you're not a doctor, fireman, or policeman. But yeah, stop giving a damn.
I'm gonna stop trimming my nose hairs.
Yeah. I do it myself because I'm like, I'll be in the bathroom. Yeah, that's gross. I have to take care of this.
I had a friend who he would never shave his nose hairs, and it really got distracting.
Yeah,
because they were starting to get longer than his nose.
Yep, mm-hmm.
From here to
yeah, when they poke out like 1/8 of an inch. Yeah,
pretty
that's
bad.
Kind of gross.
I'm glad we got to an addendum with Kevin today.
Yeah, about nose hair trimming.
About nose hair trimming
and being yourself.
Except for the nose hairs, that's gross.
When I went to a job interview, and you always check yourself over, like, yeah, guys and girls, hair perfectly in place, you shave them. I think I took off like a layer of skin. I shaved that well.
Yeah.
And I shaved flawlessly, but then I noticed as I pulled into the parking lot, I had one long nose hair, and I was like, what am I going to do? And I'm like, I have to be a man about this. I reached into my glove box where I had a Leatherman, and I got the pliers out. And
oh my God.
No crying. Reached in, grabbed it, and yoink. It hurts so bad.
Oh.
It hurts so bad.
And especially because you're focusing on it. You're focusing on, I'm going to pull the hair out of my nose.
Yes.
But yet, how did the rest of the interview go?
I got the job.
Oh.
Yeah, so.
Were you sneezing the whole time?
No, but I think I had a little bit of watery eyes when I walked in.
Was your nose bleeding profusely?
No, not bleeding. I pulled a hair, not anything else out.
That's good.
Yeah.
Also on this show, we were talking about ghosting. And about what that is when you're at a party and you don't want to say goodbye to anyone and you just leave.
I've heard that's been called also a shady bounce.
A shady bounce. I haven't heard that yet.
Yes, because my ride did that to me about 2 months ago. Just shady bounced. And I was in the city so how do I get home now?
And you're in the city and there's water separating you and Fremont.
Mm-hmm.
At a long distance.
I'm at an alleyway in San Francisco, and not in a good part either.
And you've had a few brewskis.
I've had that was a bit of a mess.
But you got home.
Yeah, I got home. My supervisor's girlfriend has a big car, and she drove us home. She was nice enough to. Yeah.
That's cool. So that also ghosting can be with a relationship, like when you stop calling and texting, which is what I had to do with the crazy OkCupid girl that I was dating.
Yes.
But I think karma slapped me because I haven't really met anyone since then, and I feel as if she used karma to get me.
How long were you seeing this girl?
I want to say 3 months.
Okay, maybe. Okay, I say if you were there for 2 weeks and you kind of disappeared, that's kind of par for the course. 3 months, maybe you want to just kind of, I don't think it's working out. I'm not feeling the chemistry. Sorry, I'm going a different way.
Yeah, I probably should have done that.
But then you have a good reason for it, because some people don't take no for an answer.
That was true with this girl.
The last girl I dated did not want to take it when I said, no, we're not seeing each other anymore. She's like, no, we are. I was like, no, I don't want to anymore. That's my decision. No, she's going to keep calling me, and she didn't get the clue until I just dropped off the face of her earth.
Wow, so you had to ghost in that sense.
I had to, yeah. I tried to be, what was it? I tried to be friendly. I tried to be kind.
Yeah.
Yeah. I tried to do the right thing.
What was that from?
Huh? Oh, I don't know. It was some movie I saw. I don't remember. I looked it up, but I can't find it.
I think in my next relationship, I won't find them on OkCupid.
Well,
because I feel as if I don't trust that website anymore.
Yeah. One of my friends met his wife on Plenty of Fish. That's a free one.
Oh, Plenty of Fish is a new. I hadn't heard of that one. Okay.
Yeah. So.
Well, I've learned a lot on today's show. I just saw Russ walk by, and he gave us a weird look outside here at the cafe anyway.
Well, Russ is busy. He's got stuff to do.
Did he ever find Pliny the Younger?
Yes, and I had some yesterday. He smuggled it out for me.
How was it?
It was good. It tastes a lot like, if you ever had Deschutes makes a beer called Fresh Squeezed.
Yes!
It's like that, but it's not as intensely fruit flavored, but it's still very good.
Do you know, I had that with you at Smoking Pig that time we had lunch.
Okay. Yeah, it tastes a lot like that.
That's good.
It's like it's such fresh hops. They don't taste bitter at all. At all.
Now, yesterday was National Wine Drinking Day.
Yep.
And I
too bad
noticed
for them.
I noticed that on Facebook it was touted by women primarily.
Okay.
Whereas I would expect a beer drinking day would be mostly men.
You would well. It seems that the data kind of goes that way. The bitterness turns a lot of women off. Especially like the IPA crowd, which is basically if you go anywhere with nice beers, you're going to see IPAs up there. That's just how it's going to go. And now this is not a hard and fast rule. I know all the ladies who are listening right now, like, I like IPA. No, you and a lot of other women do. Just it's as a rule, as a bartender, that's usually what I see more often than not, is that the women don't like the bitterness of the IPA. They always say, what's not bitter and what's not aggressive? Something like a Corona. And okay, that's great. I'll get you something else that's not as bitter.
Kevin works at a beer place.
I do. I work at a brewery.
He knows a lot about beer. He's made beer. Mm-hmm. If you didn't know that, if you're listening to this podcast for the first time, hey, thanks for listening to this podcast for the first time. You must be going, what the heck?
Thank you for coming in.
Have you also noticed that a wine glass looks more like a woman, whereas a beer glass, especially the ones with the big bottom, kind of look like a guy that drank a lot of beer?
Yep. Or if you have what they call the imperial pint or the tulip pint, it's a man with a stout chest. The lady is, the wine glass, the hips.
The hips. I'm reading too much into my glassware.
Yeah, I know. I think I don't know.
I'm a little lonely.
You're drinking too much and looking into your glass.
Oh, Benita, the rodeo queen, wanted to say something to you.
Okay.
Hi, Kevin. How y'all doing?
Pretty good, Benita. What's shaking?
I want to hug a ghost.
Oh, okay.
She wants to hug Antonin Scalia.
Oh, let the man rest in peace.
Yeah, that's what I'd say.
That's a Disgruntled Fiddle Player.
Oh, okay.
Hey, Kevin, how you all doing there?
Good in yourself, sir.
Good. I feel like you and I are akin. I like beer, you like beer. I like guns, you like guns.
Yes, I do.
I like to run around in my underwear while singing the national anthem, and you do as well.
I do. That's how I start my morning.
You fantasize to Sarah Palin, and I don't, because my wife is standing right there about to punch me in the face.
Sarah Palin's daughter as well. Bristol. You know
Bristol.
She's, now having her second child.
Wow.
Yeah. I can see why.
I get it, too. I mean, I don't get it, because my wife, Benita, the rodeo queen, is right here. Okay.
Never saw her.
That's all right. You can have her on your list of if I was on a desert island, such, as long as I get Ryan Reynolds. Deathpool.
Have you seen Deathpool yet?
I have not. I'm going to eventually, though. That's seven ones that I have to see.
Oh, the Brewmaster's here, too.
Okay.
Hello there, Kevin. I make that root beer. Oh, boy.
He makes root beer.
He does, and we do now, too.
Oh,
I
really?
can hand pull you a root beer.
You could get a job there, Brewmaster.
I would make the root beer for you.
Maybe
You have to hand mix it.
Maybe Kevin needs to run you through your paces. How do you make root beer, Brewmaster?
Well, I take the and I put it in a big vat. Oh, boy.
Oh, wait, our breakfast is here. Yay, breakfast!
Yay!
Okay, so did any of that make sense what the Brewmaster said of how to make root beer?
We have to, you need the root and the beer.
Okay, that's wonderful. Kevin, we must eat our breakfast and take care of other issues at hand. But
Yes.
thank you for stopping by. Anything else you want to drop in?
No.
Excellent!
Have a good weekend.
Mike's Daily Podcast is written and produced and performed by Mike Matthews. His podcast is super easy to find. Download or listen to his show and read his blog at MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST.com. Email Mike now at MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST@gmail.com. See you tomorrow. Bye!